How's it going, everybody? Today I'm going to be talking about a film that's one of the most famous of the Hollywood New Wave, and that is Easy Rider from 1969. And this is an extremely iconic film for that period. It's part of kind of the countercultural kind of movements that were going on, and even getting that book called Easy Riders, Raging Bulls, which covers that whole period. So this really has stood as one of the most iconic films, and also just for its use of music alone and all the themes and stuff that it explores. But for those that don't know anything about Easy Rider, it's a film directed and written by Dennis Hopper, also starring Dennis Hopper, featuring Peter Fonda and Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson appears in this film, and it's one of those performances that kickstarted his career. After that, you had things like Five Easy Pieces, The Last Detail, and then, of course, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. That's when Jack Nicholson became a very well-known actor. And pretty much for the premise of this film is it is just these two characters, these two motorcyclists travelling across the country, driving around and just trying to go see the Mardi Gras. And really this is a film that isn't concerned with plot, and that's something that's quite hard to describe to people as to what the premise really is, because it just kind of floats by. You don't really know the purpose of anything, and that really is the point. It's a film more based about mood rather than an actual storyline. It's one of the most iconic films of the time for its countercultural themes, drugs and sex and absolute anarchy. And it's about motorcyclists. And I think, for me, I don't think it's it's a good movie. It's a really good movie. I don't think it's a masterpiece. I think it's got a lot of flaws, and that is when you watch the little documentary that's in here about the making of it and how that stands today, what the film represents when we look back at it now. There is a lot of problems with the film, and you can see why, because of what it was like shooting this film. And the big thing about this film is there's a lot of shots of them just on the bikes. I mean, there's quite a lot. It's very noticeable every 10-15 minutes. But even with that said, it is great to see those scenes because the soundtrack's that great and iconic, But overall, Easy Rider, I'm not going to spoil too much about the plot or anything, but Jack Nicholson plays a great character, and you can see how he's a very charismatic character. He almost steals the show when he comes into it, I'm not to spoil anything, but the reason this film is so famous is probably just because of how it was made and the kind of antics that they got up to. Obviously the film has a lot of content to do with drugs, and between taking LSD and smoking weed all the time, the things that we're seeing, they are doing that, and that's why that when you see it, what you're seeing real stuff happening. For instance, there's an LSD scene, and Peter Fonda really did lose it in what it was recorded. But I really don't want to spoil it. But Easy Rider, I would love to know what a lot of other people out there think of the film, because I do think it's quite flawed at times, just because it doesn't really have a proper storyline, and it never seems to go anywhere. Regardless, though, there's a lot of really great themes there, especially with the way the film ends and that kind of comment of upon that kind of culture. And there's a really great scene where they all go into a bar. They're in somewhere in the southern states, and they all come into a bar. It's something you can relate to here. Just being in the wrong place and sticking out like a sore thumb, having everyone in that bar, not a bar, sorry, a cafe. It was at a cafe, and everyone notice them, they stick out, their clothing's different. I really don't want to spoil too much, but you know what I'm talking about. That scene was really great in showing kind of how close communities and stuff kind of work, and it really kind of represents how people see social groups in society, and that can be applied to goths and punks and mods and all those those social groupings that have become categories and ways of life. And that can be said about motorcyclist kind of culture, and also the hippie culture, so to speak. But yeah, Easy Rider, really great film. Just wanted to really quickly talk about it. I give it a second viewing, and I do think it's a good film, but not brilliant. Thanks a lot for watching. I got a little bit rambly. Hope you enjoy next week's uploads, when I'll probably be getting another analysis video up. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time.